Hello, my beautiful friends. How are you today? I hope you are feeling wonderful. But if not, don't worry, because by the end of this video, you'll be smiling. I'm Nasreen, a Reiki master teacher, and here we talk about personal growth, energy healing, and Reiki, helping you align your mind, body, and soul. Today, I am going to share about my parenting struggles. But don't go away if you're not a parent because you'll resonate with what I'm saying. So, this is what happened just a few days ago. I was in my office, lights on, camera ready, about to record a beautiful, calming meditation for you. Before starting, I had explicitly told my kids I'll be recording now, so please don't come downstairs to my office and try to keep your noise level low. They nodded. They understood. Or so I thought. Pre-tweens and twins. A few minutes later, I hear the faint sound of footsteps. They had quietly snuck into the next room. At first, it was just soft laughter. Tolerable. I told myself, I can work through this. But the laughter grew louder. Then came the high-pitched screams of joy. And before I knew it, the whole scene had escalated into a full-on circus. I stopped recording, walked into the next room, and yes, I yelled. I was upset because I had such a small window of time to get this done, and now it felt like that window was closing fast. I told them to stop, but it didn't really make a difference. Kids, you know. So I resigned myself to the idea that I wasn't going to get this done. I sat on the sofa in my office, sulking, my frustration rising even higher. Maybe it was my silence, maybe it was my energy. I don't know. But the kids eventually decided to quietly leave. And just like that, the downstairs was mine again. The space was quiet. I could record. But emotionally, I was drained. I wasn't in any kind of state to record a calming, soothing, relaxing meditation. I sat there thinking, I don't have time to stop and calm down now. It's now or never. And then another thought came. Wait, I can change how I feel. That reminded me of something I talked about when I recorded a video on how our energy ripples out of those around us. The ripple effect of self-care. Our state is contagious. If I started recording that meditation in a bad mood, you'd feel it. So I closed my eyes, took a slow, deep breath, and imagined myself after finishing the meditation recording. Peaceful, soft-spoken, grounded. I knew guiding the meditation would shift my state. And just like that, the Reiki began to flow. Not because the situation changed, but because I chose to change my energy in that moment. I know I'm not the only one who's been there. Parenting, especially with pre-tweens, can feel like an endless dance between love and exhaustion. For me, it's often never enough time. For them, for my work, for myself. Carrying the invisible mental load. Remembering school schedules, making sure they eat something green once in a while, juggling play dates, permission slips, and deadlines. And I know many parents feel a constant pull between work and family. When they're working, they feel they should be with their kids. When they're with their kids, they think about work. It's exhausting. And I've been there before, so I understand how draining that can be. When I recorded a video on self love, I shared that guilt and self criticisms are two of the quickest ways to deplete your energy. And when your energy is low, patience is often the first thing to go. People often tell me how lucky I am to have twins. You can get everything done in one go. And yes, that's true sometimes. One birthday party, one back to school night, one set of holiday plans. But lately, I've been noticing the other side of that coin. Like the other morning, I offered to make a special breakfast. One wanted pancakes, the other wanted crepes. And there's no let the younger one have it card to play when they're exactly the same age. Or just the other day, they were both in their rooms doing homework. One called out, "Mom, I need help." The other, hearing that, didn't miss a beat. "Mom, I need help too." I could feel where this was going. The back and forth negotiation over whose turn it is would inevitably end in a full blown tantrum party. So I finally said, "Well, I'll just split myself in half. Is that what you'd like?" They didn't think it was as funny as I did. On mornings like that, I'm glad I recorded a grounding practice because I use it myself. Before I walk into either room, I take a couple of minutes to root myself like a tree. When I'm grounded, the breakfast negotiations and the homework standoffs don't shake me quite as much. Here's something I've learned the hard way. I used to want to be the good parent, maybe even the perfect parent. Always calm, always composed, always saying the right thing. But the reality of life with kids is messy, noisy, unpredictable. And somewhere in the middle of all that commotion, I realized I can't hold myself to that impossible standard anymore. I've had days where I've lost it. I've cried in front of my kids. I've yelled. I've shown my frustration and my anger. And I've stopped seeing that as a failure. Because emotions are part of being human. And I want my kids to see that it's okay to feel them fully. But I also want them to see what happens after. So when I've had a big emotional outburst, I go to them and say, "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled. I could have said that in a calmer voice." It doesn't erase the moment, but it models something even more important, that we can own our mistakes, repair our relationships, and start again. I talked about how self-care isn't about perfection when I recorded this video. It's about presence, repair, and coming back to love. Reiki helps me return to that calmer place much faster than I used to. Over the years, I realized something. My kids are my greatest teachers. They know exactly how to mirror my triggers. They know how to push every button I didn't even know I had. And they invite me every single day to grow in ways I never imagined. In the inner child healing video, I shared that parenting is also a form of reparenting yourself, because every time I comfort my children, I'm also comforting the little girl inside me who sometimes needed those same words. And when I mess up, because I absolutely do, I remind myself of this. My kids don't need me to be perfect. They need me to admit when I'm wrong. They need to see me shift my energy when I've gone off track. They need to know that even when things get messy, love is what we return to. And for the record, no matter what I say or do, I love my children dearly. Parenting has taught me that growth isn't about always getting it right. It's about being willing to repair, reconnect, and keep showing up. So, if you are in the middle of a noisy, messy, or exhausting parenting season, I see you. It's not always easy. Some days it's pure joy. Other days it's holding on by a thread. And in between, there are these moments where we get to choose not what's happening around us, but how we respond to it. For me, Reiki has been the tool that helps me make that choice with more grace. It's helped me shift my state in minutes, ground myself before I walk into a tense situation, and return to love even after a tough moment. If you are curious about how Reiki could support you, not just as a parent, but as a human being, I encourage you to learn more. In the description, you'll find the link where you can connect with our certified Reiki teacher or practitioner near you. Because sometimes the best gift we can give our family is the time and space to refill our own cup. ありがとうございました。